To make a star basket, you need to start with a piece of paper that's white on one side and a color on the other side. And we're going to start by making 2 diagonal creases, which means we're going to fold it and then unfold it. So I'm going to start by lining up my top and bottom corner, come down through the middle. I'm starting with the color side up. It's very important. I'm going to make a nice firm crease. Then I'm going to unfold it. I'm going to rotate my model, and I'm going to then take my new bottom corner and fold it to the top corner. Come down through the middle, press out to the sides, firmly press it in place. Remember that neatness is important because it makes origami easier. Now I'll talk to you about some origami vocabulary really quickly. If I were to shake salt on top of my model right now, the salt would go where? That's right, it would go down the paper. So these are called mountain folds because they peak up like mountains do. So I want you to turn your paper over. And if I shake salt in my model now, where will it go? That's right, it goes down into the center. So when the fold dips in, that is called a valley fold. So we have mountain folds and valley folds. So turn your paper so that you have valley folds and the color side is up. No, turn your paper so you have mountain folds and the white side is up. And now we're going to fold our horizontal creases. So I'm going to take my bottom raw edge and fold it up to the top edge. It's called a raw edge because there's not a fold there, and it's the edge of our paper. I'm going to make a nice sharp crease. I'm going to open it. Some paper folders also call this a book fold. I'm going to rotate my model so that this crease is now vertical. I'm going to do a second book fold. I'm going to take the bottom edge and fold it up to the top. Now this one I'm actually going to leave in place. And you'll notice that if you've done this correctly, that your folds alternate. You have a valley fold, a mountain fold, and another valley fold. So what I want you to do is pick it up by the bottom folded edge, and I want you to look at the top. You see how you have this opening? This looks like a mouth. So we're going to do what Miss Gamble likes to call a shut your mouth fold. So you're going to take it and shut the mouth. And now you have 4 flaps that look like the end of an arrow or a piece of star fruit. I'm going to take 2 flaps in one hand and 2 flaps in the other hand, and I'm going to smooth it out, particularly down the sides and through the middle. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the part that has loose layers and is open is pointing away from us. And I'm going to take this double raw edge, because there are 2 here, and we're going to fold those to the center of our model. Let's call these ice cream cone folds, because we're going to do it on the right and the left with the top layer of each side. And you'll see how it looks like an ice cream cone with a layer of ice cream up top. What I want you to do next is to take this layer of ice cream and fold it down. We're going to pre-crease this. You remember pre-creasing, hopefully, as something that we do ahead of time so that we can use it later. Then I'm going to flip my model over like a pancake, because you know I love pancakes. And I'm going to do the same thing. On my double raw edge, I'm going to fold it to the center. Now it's very important that you match what you did on the other side. And also, as you fold these, that there's a pocket here, because we're going to need that pocket in just a second. We do the same thing on the adjacent side. You'll notice there's lots of symmetry in origami, and that's good. This time we're going to fold the ice cream this way to the front. We want to really reinforce that pre-creasing right there. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is called squash folding. I'm going to take my pocket. I'm going to use a pokey stick or a pencil. I'm going to squash fold this down into place. And when I do this, you'll notice that this crease lines up with the edge of my model here. And you want to do that on all 4. First on the right and the left, and then flip it over like a pancake and do the same thing. Now if you don't want to use a pencil, that's fine. Just make sure that you go all the way up to the corner and that your creases are lining up here on the edge. Okay, I'm going to rotate my model so the white part is pointing away from where I'm sitting. In the center, I have a white triangle. I'm going to take that white triangle and fold it down. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the back side. I'm going to fold that white triangle down. Now your model will look like this. The next thing that we're going to do is called rotating flaps. So we're going to pick up our model and hold it skinny ways. At the bottom, we're going to take these two flaps and separate them, and then put that model flat on the table. On the back side, we will repeat that motion. We'll take these two flaps and separate them. We're almost done. You'll notice we have these long mountain folds here and here. We want to turn those into valley folds. So I'm going to take my short edge and fold it to the center on the right and the left. Remember, you can rewind and pause as need be. I'm going to fold this triangle down. Then I'm going to flip it over and repeat all of that on the back. So now it looks like a giant diamond. To open our star basket, you're going to pull these things apart and press down to expand your beautiful star basket. If you want to collapse your basket back down, turn it to the side, push through the center and squeeze your sides in as you do, and you'll be able to collapse your basket so it's easier to carry around and you won't squash it, unless you're supposed to squash fold.